There are a lot of women in this country who have been waiting their whole lives to vote for a woman president. How do we tell them that there are some things more important than gender?
Well, it's a very, look, everybody's sensitive about that, and it's a decent and fair question, folks, because that's what some people find. I've heard it, and you've heard it. I have 2 daughters. I mean, they need a quick answer is to say, wait for my daughter, and then you go, I'm only joking. My daughters, we talk about it, as I think any dad with their daughters has, or any family that's sat around. And women all over America think that is. Let me ask you something. Why did Claire McCaskill, the senator from the state of Missouri, endorse Barack Obama? Why did Kathleen Sebelius, the governor from Kansas, who got elected and fights these issues and works in a tough state, endorse Barack Obama? Why did Janet Napolitano, a woman, all of them women, obviously, governor of Arizona, red state, endorse Barack Obama?
Right.
Because they waited their lives. They are the personification of people in the public sector. And the simple answer is this. We are supposed to be not just colorblind, but gender-blind, religious blind, race blind. We're supposed to choose people. We're supposed to choose the right person for the moment that we think can meet our needs. And we happen to be very, very lucky, in fact. Because either way, we break the barriers. Either way, we pass in. And I'm not going to get into the argument of whether one is more important than the other. They're both important. But what's really important is that America has the ability to be able to embrace the fact that we are who we say we are what we say we believe. And I believe, again, coming back to what I said about Barack earlier, that he has a better ability to put the past in the past, embrace the future, lead us where we need to go, reach out to those other countries, end the partisan division. His life is a life that has practiced the politics of unity, and I believe that distinguishes him as much as anything else here, not to mention his ability to sort of motivate people more, energize them more, reach the country, lift it up, and I think that is an enormous feature with respect to the choosing of the president. The answer is, these kinds of decisions are pretty personal, and, he knows his own mind. He's going to make up his own mind. I don't think he needs me or other people to try to influence him as to what to do here. I know he's talked to Barack, I know he's talked to Taylor, I know that there are conversations taking place. It would be very hard for me to see how, in keeping with all the things he said in the campaign, he could go out and endorse her. But that doesn't mean he's necessarily going to endorse anybody. He'll make his own choice on that one. So the answer is no. Probably nobody can really influence. Well, as was Elizabeth, might have something to say. But beyond that, I think we're just going to have to wait and see. I also think the endorsement thing is kind of going to run its route pretty soon, to be honest with you. I am very proud that I stepped out there for South Carolina, and I'm even more proud, may I say, that my colleague, who had every reason in the world not to be involved in this, after all his years in Washington, and it's a very important statement. And Ted Kennedy, who has been years and years this is a man who's been involved in all the great fights of the last 40 years, from the Civil Rights Movement, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the education efforts, the Pell Grant, you name it. And when he steps out and says, I think this person will be better to help us move the legislation and get the things done we need to do, immigration reform, the other things we need, I believe that's very important. So, I think after Tuesday, you all do your work. You do your work in California, and we do it in the other parts of the country. We can keep on climbing up in this delegate race, and I think then the American people are going to be listening for themselves and watching this thing much more closely than ever before. And endorsements will probably diminish in that kind of importance, and you will grow in the importance of how you talk to your neighbor, what you do at your family table, and how you take the word out to the country. That'll be important. Yes, ma'am. We'll get the mic. You got a mic right there.
Regardless of who is elected our president, how are we going to enforce the abuse of power, secrecy, and accountability for everybody, including our president?
So very clarifying what? How, in a democracy, ladies and gentlemen, how do you hold anybody accountable? It's what I was talking about earlier. Beg your pardon? Well, I understand. There are a lot of serious questions about the way this administration has behaved, but we did not get control of Congress until 2007, just last year. And the American people have an enormous amount of business on the table that we have to try to do in a functional way. We don't have 60 votes in the Senate, folks. You can't do anything. Sometimes people come up to me and say, they're angry. They say, well, what the heck? We put you guys in charge, and you said you're going to get it done, you haven't ended the war. Well, folks, in a democracy, you got to vote. And under our Constitution, the minority is protected, and it's not a protection I want to give up, even though we're in the majority. Protected by the right to be able to slow things down. It works. I believe in it. And ultimately, you hopefully find the ground of compromise. So how do you make accountability? I'll tell you what you do. When I came to the Senate in 1985, there were 57 senators. And we've gone down until we started coming back a few years ago. So what we have to do is go out and win more seats this year, win more votes, do more of the hard work of democracy. Not enough people vote, not enough people care. And if we do that, that's the greatest accountability. I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. When the media ownership rule was being changed a year or so ago, the Republicans were in charge of Congress. There was a grassroots rebellion through the internet and otherwise. And suddenly, Republican congressmen feared for their positions. Because you all were rumbling. If you'll rumble a little more often and make noise, you'll get the accountability, you'll get the hearings, and you'll make things happen. If it weren't for the power you gave us to have a hearing and hold people accountable, you'd probably still have Donald Rumsfeld and Attorney General Gonzalez. We won that, you won that through the vote of 2006, and now we just have to complete the job in 2008 and make Barack president, and that's how we'll have to do that.